Happy Friday. Y'all already know what it is. I'm Jay Smith. This is Boxing. This is your favorite boxer's favorite boxing show. I'm here to talk boxing with you, my people. Yesterday, when I went live at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, we were talking about Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez, and that conversation wasn't over, and it's not gonna be over until they fight. Because at the end of the day, there's so many people who feel like Canelo is gonna wash Crawford for the wrong reasons. I think you should have learned by now that who someone has fought in the past has absolutely nothing to do with what's going to happen when they fight each other. I still remember when Terence Crawford was going to fight Errol Spence. The casual fans would just keep asking the same question. Who he beat? Who he beat? Who he beat? He beat a lot of real good fighters. Terence Crawford beat a lot of real good fighters. But you know the narrative. You have to discredit everybody that Crawford beat to try to discredit him. They beat Amir Khan, Sean Porter, Gamboa, Postol, and a bunch of other Madrimon. Beat a bunch of top level fighters, a bunch of top 10 ranked opponents. Yet people want to discredit everybody that Crawford beats just to try to take credit from him as far as how great of a fighter he is. Oh, who he beat. Oh, he didn't beat Hall of Famers. Like, man, y'all gotta stop doing that. That's the most casual boxing fan, I don't know shit about boxing type of argument that you can make. Who he beat? He didn't beat no Hall of Famers. He's not the greatest of all time. Like, man, shut the fuck up. Real talk, my people. Terence Crawford has an elite resume. A great resume. Right now, he has a great resume. And I'm wondering, because when he beat Errol Spence, what happened? The same people were saying Errol Spence is going to knock him out. Errol Spence is too big for him. He's going to walk him down. The same people who said that, they changed the tune. As soon as Bud Crawford pummeled Errol Spence, it was a new tune. Oh, Errol Spence, the car accident, and what had happened was, and he wasn't the same anymore, and his dog did his homework, he was smoking weed that day. Every single excuse in the book, y'all brought it up. What happened? The same people who said Errol was going to knock Crawford out switched up to, nah, Errol's not good because, the car accident from years ago when he didn't break a single bone in his body is still affecting him. Come on, we got to stop that. Terence Crawford is arguably the best fighter of this generation. If you don't want to say he's the best of this generation, he's amongst them. He's one of the best of this era. We're going to be talking about Crawford as far as his greatness all time. He's going to be on the all-time list. At this point, we have to wonder, is Crawford a top 10, a top 20 all-time great? And then what's going to happen when he beat Canelo Alvarez? We're going to have to put him on the all-time list. And I'm pretty sure that there's going to be people who will refuse to give Crawford his credit. Refuse. Because it is going to be a competitive fight. I've been telling people I got Crawford winning by unanimous decision, but it's going to be a competitive fight. It's going to be a good fight. So I can already see people saying, nah, Crawford lost that fight, or he didn't do enough to win, or Canelo wasn't the same. That's why Crawford lost. Canelo was different. Like, I can't even imagine the excuses that people will come up with just to avoid giving Terence Crawford his flowers. It's like, what does the guy have to do? Yesterday I had somebody tell me, oh, well, he hasn't beaten a bunch of Hall of Famers. And then I asked him, okay, he ain't beat a bunch of Hall of Famers. Tell me who are the Hall of Famers at 147 that he could have beat. Tell me who are the Hall of Famers that you think he avoided. Went quiet right away. Went real quiet. So my peoples, don't ever make that argument. That's a real dumb argument. That's a real I don't know shit about boxing type of argument. Oh, he didn't beat a bunch of Hall of Famers. What Hall of Famers he's gonna beat? Who are the Hall of Famers that you think he should have beat? Or who are the Hall of Famers that you think he ducked? So that's the point, you can tell when somebody's hating on a fighter when their arguments make no sense. To them in their head, they make it make sense, but it don't make no sense. He didn't beat no Hall of Famers. First of all, who you fight has absolutely nothing to do with what's going to happen when these two fight each other. Nothing. Nothing. Love more Hinduism, bro. I can't see Crawford taking Canelo's aggression. I understand that you can see Crawford taking Canelo's aggression, but bro, how good is your opinion? You never boxed a day in your life. You never been in the ring. How good is really your opinion, my brother? So I respect it that you think he can't take the aggression, but how legit is your opinion, my brother, from watching TV? How legit is it? Be honest, my brother. Come on, Love More Hindus. Be like, I can't see him taking the aggression, but how relevant is what you can see and what you can't see, my brother? I can see him taking aggression. I can see him fighting Canelo. You know something that you cannot see, and you will, and I can see it because I've been in the ring, that Canelo is going to taste Crawford's power. Canelo is going to taste Crawford's skills, and he's not going to be as aggressive as you think he's going to be. Canelo is going to be hesitant. He's going to be, have to think about how do I step in the box over here. It's not going to be what you think, that Canelo just going to be walking forward, throwing a bunch of punches, beating him up, and Crawford running around trying to defend himself. Come on, bro. You telling me that my opinion is based on emotions, and I'm trying to explain to you. I'm trying to show you, my brother. Everything, every opinion that you're coming up with is not based on what's actually going on in the ring. It's based on, well, I don't think that he can do this, and I don't think that he can do that. But, bro, you never boxed a day in your life. How relevant is what you think? Real talk, my guy. Like, if you never boxed, how relevant, how much weight can we really put on what you think Crawford can do and can't do? Be for real, my guy. So, amongst boxing fans, we can argue that, I don't think he could do this, I don't think he could do that. But that doesn't make it a legit opinion, my brother. You thinking that Crawford can't handle Canelo's aggression, that's just what you think. That's it. And it's okay for you to think that. But you're going to be disappointed. This fight is not going to play out nothing like the way you envision it. Canelo is going to have to play chess with Terence Crawford, my brother. Crawford is a very, very hard puncher. A very, very strong fighter. And you're acting like Canelo's just going to walk him down. Canelo's this big giant. Crawford's this little dude. It's not going to go the way you think, my brother. Nothing like the way you think. Love more Hinduism. Crawford power is nothing for Canelo. He ate Triple G's punches. You see? There you go again. There you go, making an analogy based on another fighter. I never told you, and I have never said that Crawford is going to knock Canelo out. But for you to say that Crawford's power is going to be nothing for Canelo, that's because, my brother, and I say this respectfully, you don't know shit about boxing, bro. You never boxed a day in your life. So you could sit there in your house watching TV and be like, yeah, Crawford's power is nothing for Canelo. Yeah, but that's crazy, man. That only somebody who don't know shit about boxing is going to say, yeah, Crawford's power is nothing for Canelo. That's crazy work, bro. But you're going to find out. When they fight each other, you're going to find out. When you see Canelo defending himself, when you see Canelo moving, when you see Canelo hesitant, you're going to find out. And I'm going to tell you right now, before we get to the fight, don't you dare say, oh, when Canelo lose, nah, Canelo looked different. He wasn't the same. He didn't let his hands go. Because this is when you're going to learn. When you get hit with good punches, with combinations, you hesitate. You're more hesitant. You throw less punches. You do less. So when you see Canelo doing less, that's going to be because of Crawford's power, because of Crawford's skills. You're going to find that out, Love More Hinduism. You're going to find that out. Love More Hinduism, bro, I can't wait to see your reaction after. My reaction is going to be the same as my reaction when Bud Crawford beat the shit out of Errol Spence. You and everybody who said that Spence was going to beat him, y'all had to change your tune. Y'all went from Spence is too big, Spence is going to knock him out. And then y'all switched the tune to, nah, you know, the car accident and what happened was. Y'all switched it up right away. So I'm trying to figure out what you going to switch it up for. What's going to be the next excuse when Crawford put the beats on Canelo? Lindgren 009. Yo, Tyson Fury or Usyk? Tyson Fury or Usyk? Nah, I got Usyk. I got Usyk winning that fight. I think that Usyk, you know, he already showed that he could beat Tyson Fury. And if they do a rematch, I got Usyk winning again. I think Tyson Fury already lost a bit of a step. He's already a bit older. You know, the weight issues that he be having, be all out of shape and shit. I think that he can't get away with that no more. His age, he can't get away with showing up to the fight, being overweight, and still perform, you know, athletically and still do his thing. I don't think he could do that no more. That's it. Age has caught up to him. Lindgren 009, would you rather to gain muscle or gain eagers? I don't know what's eagers, bro. Eagers, I don't know what that is. I don't know what you mean. But again, my peoples, September 12th, gain eagers. I don't know what's eagers, bro. But again, September 12th, we're going to find out. I already know. Y'all gonna find out. Love More Hinduism, you gonna find out. It's your reaction I want to see. Say it faster so you understand. I don't want to understand, my brother, but good stuff. I don't know what type of joke you got going on here, but we talking boxing. So if you want to talk boxing, I'm with it. If you want to make jokes and make references, I'm not with it, bro. By the way, my peoples, Manny Pacquiao, you know, is set to return for a title shot versus Mario Barrios. Can Manny Pacquiao win at 40? I think he's 48 years old at this point. Can he win a title? I think, if I'm not mistaken, George Foreman was 46 or 47 when he beat Michael Moorer to become the oldest champion ever. But if I'm not mistaken, Manny Pacquiao right now may be older than George Foreman was when he got that title. I don't remember off the top of my head. But I will say, if Manny Pacquiao, oh, he's done. He's cooked. Somebody's about to get a ticket for driving down the street, down the wrong way. He done messed up. They caught him slipping. Now he got himself a ticket. Yeah, she not letting him slide with that. But yeah, my peoples, I think that Manny Pacquiao, you know, making a comeback versus Mario Barrios is crazy because he's already been retired for a little bit, and I think we all thought he wasn't coming back, and now he is coming back. Shit, Love More Hinduism. No, he needs to stay retired. MAW, hello boxing fans, Jay and Chad. Smash that like button. MAW, always appreciate you, my brother. But yeah, man, Manny Pacquiao versus Mario Barrios, that's crazy. Can Pacquiao win at his age? Can he become a champion once again? We'll see. But this was interesting to me, right? Manny Pacquiao is rumored to be, making a comeback versus Mario Barrios, right? But Floyd Mayweather is also rumored, you know, people are saying that he's gonna make a comeback and fight George Camboza, supposedly in a big stadium in Australia. So Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather both making a comeback fight. Could this mean that they'll end up doing the anticipated rematch? Because if y'all remember, supposedly Pac-Man had a bad shoulder when he fought Floyd. He had surgery right after the fight. People saw that as an excuse. Is it possible that we'll get, 49, 50-year-old Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao, who also, Pac-Man is like a year or two younger than Floyd, so, they'll be in their late 40s, maybe 50 years old. MAW, Pac-Man, obviously returning to take another box. Foreman returning after 10-year layoff to become oldest champ is legendary. That's a fact, my brother. And I tell you what, I was watching George Foreman versus Michael Moorer, and if you watch that fight, Michael Moorer was putting the beats on George Foreman, winning every round convincingly, all type of hands. And George Foreman kept trying to land that big right hand, but he wasn't catching him. And finally, when he did, he slept Michael Moorer, knocked him out. I remember, and the thing about that right hand is that it landed so flush. But if you see it in real time, like when it actually happened, boom, Michael Moorer dropped. You thought he was gonna get up. You thought he didn't get hit that hard. And then when you see the replay, though, you see that he ate all of it. 100% of that big ass fist. Boom! And that's it. The rest was history. Big George Foreman became the oldest champion ever in boxing. I can't remember how old he was. I know he was 46 or 47, something like that. MAW, they say power is the last to go. Foreman is proof of that. That's a fact. The power is the last thing to go. You might be slower, your reflexes might not be the same, but that power, yo, listen, dudes be late in their 40s. You see that in George Foreman, and still be dropping bombs. Now, I gotta say, Manny Pacquiao is not gonna be in the same situation as George Foreman, because the one thing we have to understand, George Foreman was a heavyweight. Rest in peace, George Foreman, man. One of the best to ever do it. He was a heavyweight, a big heavyweight. And, a big guy like that is going to carry power with him. Manny Pacquiao is a very small fighter. And it's not just that he's small. If you recall, the moment he moved up to the welterweight division, he stopped knocking people out. In that division, guys was too big for him. He was beating them, but he didn't get as many. His knockout percentage went down when he got to that division. So he's gonna fight Mario Barrios, who's obviously a lot younger than him, but who's also a lot bigger than him. So can Manny Pacquiao knock Barrios out? I don't think so. We got to remember that Mario Barrios fought Tank Davis. And he got stopped at the end of that fight. He almost went the distance with Tank. So, you got to wonder, how is this fight going to play out for Manny Pacquiao when, if he's going to go the distance, he's going to have to outbox Barrios. Now, can he outbox him? I don't know. Be honest with you, my peoples. I don't know if he can outbox him. And I say that mostly because of his age. okay, because of his age. Manny Pacquiao is, a great fighter. He's, a first ballot Hall of Famer. Gotta respect him. At his age, you gotta ask that question. You gotta wonder, at his age, can he actually beat somebody who's that young and who's a reigning champion? Can he beat a reigning champion at his age? I don't know. I honestly don't know. MAW, Pac-Man looked bad in his last fight. Either his speed and timing and slowing, or he wasn't fully conditioned. Age catches up with everyone eventually. Yo, Father Time is undefeated, my brother. Father Time is undefeated. Love more Hinduism. Pac-Man should have retired after Thurman. I agree with you on that. That was a great win. He became a world champion, the oldest welterweight champion in history. He should have right there say, I'm done. That's a great win to end your career with. Plus, he beat an undefeated champion, a legit champion. Should have called it a wrap right there. I agree with that. JC, T.O. versus Boots and Rolly Ben is an amazing card if it happens. I agree with you 100%, my brother. Now, we have to consider that the winner of Ryan Garcia and Teofimo, the winner of Ryan Garcia, Rolly Romero, was set to be mandated to fight Boots. So, based off of what they have said, then Rolly Romero should be mandated to fight Boots next. We might actually have that. Now, if Rolly decides that he doesn't want that fight, Teofimo already shows that he wanted. So, we could potentially get Teofimo Lopez versus Jerome Boots Ennis. That's a possibility. That's a possibility. And I would love to see that fight. Now, we want Rolly versus Ben. That's going to be an amazing fight. So here's the deal. I like Rolly versus Ben. But remember that Conor Ben expressed interest in fighting Jerome Boots Ennis. Conor Ben also expressed interest in fighting Ryan Garcia. They went back and forth the other day. So we gotta see. We gotta see how that plays out. Because at the end of the day, there's multiple fights that we want to see for Rolly, for Ryan, for Teofimo, for Boots. A lot of fights that we want to see. So we got to see how it's going to play out. We got to see. There's a lot of fights that are coming up that are going to be announced. Subscribe, share, and smash that like button, folks. MAW, I appreciate you, my G. Haney versus Ben is going to be boring. With that last performance Devin Haney had, I know a lot of people are going to say that. I guess we got to see how it plays out. My peoples, I'm about to end this live, but before I do, I want to give a shout out to everybody who came through. I appreciate ya. I see somebody subscribe to the channel. If you subscribe to the channel, you hit that like button. I appreciate you. Yo, my peoples, I'm out of here. Y'all already know what it is, man. I'm Jay Smith. This is Box Center, your favorite boxer's favorite boxing show. Salute, my peoples. Bam. I'm out of here. Peace.